All right, I think that's our cue to start. Welcome to our Harrisville City Council meeting. We will, Mayor Tait will be here tonight. We will have our opening ceremony, like allegiance for the chest.
That be the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Father, our God, we're grateful for the many blessings we receive as a city. Grateful for the opportunity to serve as a spirit to do so. That's for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Sure. Right, item number 3. I'm kind of happy to do this, but at the same time, it's bittersweet. You're all aware that Kevin Shakespeare served on the planning commission and has moved out of the city now. So we want to tonight. Kevin, would you come up here? Turn around and face the Sean, he wanted his nameplate, you know, kind of cool to have that.
Yep.
Up in the city.
Thank you.
Certificates to thank him for the time, and then autograph. Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you. How much time did you serve?
3 years.
So January 2020?
Yeah.
3.5 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
I know where a house is for sale.
There's no water in housing in Harrisville.
Well, thanks again. I know you did a lot of great things on there. We miss you already. So thanks for your service. All right. Item number 4 are business items. Item A is a public hearing to receive input from the public for and against the proposed resolution. Here's Resolution 23-08. It's a resolution amending the fiscal year 2023 budget. I need a motion to open the hearing, please.
I'll say.
Have a motion and a second. Do I? Jessica. Sorry.
Best public hearing ever. Mayor, Council, thank you. As you know, per state statute, you're allowed to open the budget twice a year, January and then in June. We have 6 items I'm recommending, staff is recommending we open the fiscal year 22-23 budget. The first is a reallocation of the ARPA funds for the study, market study. So we're going to increase ARPA revenue, the expenditures into the different departments for wages and benefits. Item number 2 is the issuance of the $9 million in revenue bonds. We have to recognize our long-term liability as well as our increased asset, which is our budget. Number 3 is non-department increase in animal control and utilities. We received increased interest earnings, so that's for $20,000, and then increase our animal control budget by 15 and utilities by 5. Court legal service fees. We're going to increase interest earnings again, and then increase court legal fees. We did see an increase that. That's just to make the legal budget. Public safety, impact fee expenditure and revenue, a grant we received, as well as alcohol enforcement highway safety expenditure and revenue for that. And item number 6 is the general fund surplus in fund balance. That is the excess that we had in FY 21 fiscal year end budget. The audit, the $337,000 that we were over in our fund balance. So we are using that to transfer to debt service to help pay that in. So any questions on the reopened budget?
I guess I have the last one. You said it's transferring over to pay debt now. So rainy.
No, it's going to the debt service and it'll just sit there until we start making the bigger bond payments.
Okay.
So it'll increase that fund balance in debt service. So it is a rainy day fund, we put it in the debt service fund.
County raise our animal control.
Actually raised it, but they have been doing, I don't get a notification that there is increased, I just don't know that the time setting budget sure will be.
Well, how much did we have to raise it
20,000, let's see, 15,000.
from?
The exact budget amount. It's
It's done a lot like the CSI, so it's based on the calls of service population, so I'm sure that's the difference they're looking at.
They still realizing the revenue from the licensing and stuff. We could say,
We're still collecting.
so collecting.
Questions? Thank you. I guess there's no one in the audience having a public hearing, so could I know?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I like to excuse myself. Right, item B, discussion possible action to adopt Harrisville Resolution 23-08, which is a resolution amending fiscal year 2020. So this is just reviewing, this is just what we discussed, so.
I'll make a motion to adopt Harrisville Resolution 23-08, resolution amending the fiscal year budget 2023.
You guys are so good. The motion and a second, Mr. Please, Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
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 Thank you. Motion. Thank you, Jessica, for all of this. This is just a really polite to the things that we used to go through. Thank you so much. Item C, discussion possible action of personal rates, 5 million, just land use and utility fees. Jennie Knight.
Thank you, Mayor. So as staff, we have been kind of mulling this over for quite some time. So we quickly with Jill help, treasurer's help, she put together a consolidated fee schedule, which is the attachment to the resolution. So what we've done here is we've pulled out the fees in both, and we've put them all into a consolidated fee schedule. So if we're making adjustments to the garbage service funds, the stormwater utility fee, the sewer fee, or any land use application fees, we don't have to go in and amend the code. We can just update the consolidated fee schedule with those amendments. So it's a little cleaner and easier for us to make those adjustments. It's very common with the utility fees to be adjusted a little bit during the budget season. We anticipate that's when we will make changes to the consolidated fee schedule. So this ordinance actually just adapts the information in our current code that says fees and takes it out, puts in the fees are established by the consolidated fee schedule.
So that still adjusted once a year.
Well, they can be adjusted as we see fit, but we would put it in line with what the budget is being adjusted. So that, for example, we just received about a week ago the waste management fees. And fortunately, we're having another meeting in June, so we're able to adopt that, so it'll go into place in July. So most of them come in about that we do budget discussions, but yes, if something we need to adjust something outside of the budget season. So it also provides a location for developers, residents to go to see what those fees are in one place. Most residents don't are familiar enough with our code to go and look for those utility fees that are in the code, but they would notice a fee schedule a little more accessible. So that's basically the next item as well.
Any questions? Discussion? Can we have a motion, please?
I make the motion that we adopt or approve Harrisville Ordinance 541 on the land use utility fees amendment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This is also roll call. Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen.
Yes.
Councilmember.
Yes.
Councilmember.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, item D, discussion into action to adopt Harrisville Resolution 23-9, which is a resolution adopting Harrisville City Consolidated Fee Schedule. Jennie, you want to continue?
Yes, so to continue that discussion, we have, Jill has prepared this, it's out to utilities, planning and zoning, subdivision, building permits, encroachment permits, and we will eventually add notification to this as well. So that people who need to see the fees and associated fee. So the ones I'd like to draw to your attention for tonight's discussion is the garbage service fee. We were notified last week by Waste Management that the city's portion for the first can is going to be $18.50. So we adjusted the garbage can collection fee to $19.70, which is consistent with what we collected last year. So we would like to also draw your attention that garbage waste fund is still operating in negative, and will give for some time until we collect that increased services when. We also made adjustments to the additional can for the recycled can recycled services. The city portion sewer increased by
33 cents.
33 cents. So the city's portion went to $11.50, and central sewer portion also increased. Sorry. Increased from
50 cents.
about 50 cents.
Yeah.
Central sewer. They also do treatment taxation in the central sewer district, so they're taxing as well. Just if you get any fee, residents, this means we overview it, about the fees for the city and you can use the consolidated fee schedule. It's all information.
These line surrounding communities.
As far as they are at $1 or $2, some of them and collecting, but this is under our waste management, which I believe we renewed in 2020. On the top of the, say it was 2020 years. This is where we need it set. Certainly, if we were trying to operate in one to increase those garbage fees a little bit. So I think this gives us some hope that it's that utility out. And that's not making any adjustments to storm utility, street lights. Utility.
Any questions? Jennie, to you. Anything more? Okay. If there's no more discussion, could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we adopt. We got resolution adopting the Harrisville City Consolidated Fee Schedule.
Second.
Motion and second. Yes. Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, item E, this is discussion possible action to adopt Harrisville Resolution 23-10, a resolution to authorize agreement with civil 2000. Jen.
So this is just a form. Did send us the for the safe sidewalk funds that we received. And this is just authorizing the city to enter into that agreement. Anticipate this is the 2000 section, correct? So do you want to give a little bit?
So in this previous year, we applied for 2 safe sidewalks to schools grant with UDOT. This section being the 2000 north section, which is the section between North Ogden and Harrisville that is adjacent to the McCormick property that has no curb gutter and sidewalk. So we're able to curb gutter sidewalk, extend that at a 25% match to the city. So 75% of that's being paid by UDOT. We are going to match it in kind to actually doing some of the work ourselves, the demolition, tear out. And so this is just our agreement saying, yes, we'll cooperate. It goes up for RFP and hiring a contractor to come and do some of the work this week, as long as this agreement passes. And we should be, we're trying to do actually the other one first and this one second, due to the nature of what they are, and we need to have them in before the end of August, before school will be back in session.
Basically taking up that asphalt.
That asphalt trail, moving the fence back on the torment piece, putting curb gutter sidewalk all the way in the edge of North Ogden, all the way through that section of property. And widening the
Take me 4 pictures so you could take that.
yes, so we'll do all of that.
Anything else?
It's a city road, how does UDOT involved?
So because it's a safe sidewalks to school grant, we had to show which school it impacted, and of course it was all right. But it impacts the most right there, and then we wrote the grant and did all the engineering and got a 75% match.
The other one's behind Majestic, right?
The other one is behind Majestic, and that's quite a different scope, but gonna be very, very nice, and I'll explain that one on the next agreement.
Thank you.
We actually just received the 2000.
Oh. Okay, I will get with then on the 2300, but that one, behind Majestic, we've actually gone on with the school district and they donated land back to the city. That we're taking down the fence and actually doing full pull through student drop off on the backside of Majestic, so that 2550 isn't so congested and 24, 25 isn't gridlocked when they drop the kids off. Hopefully that will help some. And again, it's just a 1-lane pull through, drop off and pull out. So that should, the school's really excited about that, and the school district, and they've been in every way helpful for us to get this project done.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. We have a motion.
Make a motion to adopt Harrisville Resolution 23-10, authorize agreement for a sidewalk grant 2000.
Motion second. Also, Councilmember Jackson,
Yeah.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Jefferson.
Yes.
Thank you. I would like to accept it. All right, item F, discussion or possible action to surplus parks and recreation.
Council. Last year, if you remember, 5 and 6 from the back basin. This year, you may have seen filler water for at least a good month, and even if it was usable before that happened, we use it with water over it. So that field currently needs thousands of dollars worth of improvements, from dirt to chain link. The chain link itself was almost 10 grand to re-chain link the bottom. Grover may remember being on that field and helping cut out those edges, but we need to bring in good dirt to make that field even usable. I have a hard time spending that kind of money on a field that sits next to the detention basin outlet or drain, where all that sediment's just gonna gather by the drain and basically drift off that field is my experience. So what I'm proposing is just to remove that field altogether. We've got a couple of new parks in our sites. Hopefully in the near future, we can focus our attention on maybe some nicer ball fields that do not have the potential to be flooded. But I think at this point, rather than put so much money into a field that has high potential of not even being able to be used, I would recommend that we just remove it and clean up that back basin and move forward somewhere else at a different park. And I can utilize other cities if I need to. Recreation wise for the next year or two. We actually haven't used that for 3 years now and have been able to get by. As our numbers increase in the city, of course, our numbers are going to increase for recreation numbers as well, or obviously. But for now, I think I would ask permission that we take that out and surplus the material.
How much were you looking at in putting in road? That's what gets me, is good road mix. Dirt, along with, chain was 10,000.
Yeah.
What was the risk?
So I got a quote from Dura Edge, which is a professional company that comes in the laser levels and does the whole bit on fields, including major league fields. So this is something that Harrisville needs to do in the bottom of retention basin, but they quoted me $40,000 just to skin the infield, have an entire dirt, laser level it. I wouldn't even ask for that kind of money to put on that field, but at the same time, you can't just go to Parsons Pit and grab some red dirt because it looks good. And I mean, you can't just put dirt on a ball field. It's got to be soil. It's got to be a composition of silt sands and clays and the right type of material to work that field. Then you also have to have a certain amount of water to keep that clay moist, and the list goes on and on. So we, for years, have just tried to make that work and have done our best, but I think that it's not worth putting that money into it. But that answers your question, $40,000.
So,
Possibly get washed away.
Right.
so what would you be taking out?
Right now, just chain link posts, chain link fence posts, and some concrete. And then we would probably just bring in some topsoil and plant some seed or sod, adjust them. It's a retention basin, so we use it, but it's his baby. But that's probably what we do.
6 more things.
And those will all come down. 5 and 6 still need to come down. But we move forward with this, and also power is an issue out there too. I don't. But even for the walking track space, there's power that's in the bottom, or at least the side of the basin, which is currently running water. So we've shut that power, disconnected completely, and self-tap screw that breaker box closed, so nobody can get in there to the power. Anyway, that's where we're at.
Thank you. Any more questions? I think that's it then.
Permission granted.
Well, I need to have a motion, right?
Do we have to make a motion on that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we let them surplus field pool.
That works.
That works. All right.
I'll second it.
Should have said favor.
Ah,
Okay. Now I got permission.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G, this is a discussion, possible action to purchase a DGJ Chico.
So we've done a couple of presentations on drones. So there is some money left in the police budget. It's not all in the line items. There's enough to cover the purchase of the drone this year. I have two bids here. The RMUS one and then UVT. The UVT actually gave us an extra 5% discount, which made it a little bit cheaper than the RMUS. And the UVT one comes with 24-hour phone service if we need them. From what I've been told, it's a lot better company than the other one. So I'm glad that they've given us a discount to get close to the other one.
So the total is, I'm sorry,
17,612.97. This comes with everything that we need to get going, plus the instruction to actually learn how to fly it, and use the controls and the systems that are on.
Who trains it?
Kyle Norford is gonna train us. He's the one that's actually doing the drone platforms now. You guys met him when he coming through the drone outside.
when are you anticipating buying this?
I'd like to buy it tomorrow if the approval.
How much do? Purchase.
So there shouldn't be too much maintenance on a drone. Other than maybe some blades, which are not too expensive. The biggest expense to a drone would be the batteries. And I would imagine they're gonna last for a few years, but they do get quite expensive when it comes to batteries. Off the top of my head, they're, I wanna say, well, they're about $650 per pair. So $329 a battery, and they run 2 batteries, which have to be, when you put them together, those batteries stay together.
I'm just after the demo, how long does he say these typically last? Do they keep the same service?
I don't know the answer to that. I know the county's had theirs for years.
How many?
For years, and they've had the same drone since, I mean, they had the first one they bought. So as long as you take care of them, they shouldn't have a problem.
3 years ago, we had, mosquito vapor bought our first one. Now we buy it, they bought a second one. Now I'm looking at the third. And the first one is still just going, kind of slide. Maintenance on it, we look at that same thing. They're consistent. You take care of them, they're in good shape.
And they're using theirs every day during the mosquito season. These won't be put up every day.
It's a lot, heavy headings. A lot of them, it's not actually great, which is saving, literally saving that first year, savings, it was real, just, it almost bought the savings we had. So from what you explained to us, I think this would be good.
I mean, this is an insurance policy. This is for when things go wrong. A lost senior or a lost kid or something that we need to get eyes on that we can't. I mean, this is something that we're not going to use every day, but it's one of them tools that are sure nice to have when you.
So let me ask you this, Mark, where are you gonna store this?
Downstairs, it's in a briefcase that's, I mean, they're not as big as what you're thinking from the,
Why don't
yeah.
we end up buying a truck, we end up buying a storage unit?
Yeah, these are about the size of maybe about a carry-on luggage-ish.
How many of our folks will be trained to fly them?
So there are 8 of us in the class right now. There's 8 of us in the class now. Our hopes is to get the rest of Justin's guys trained so they can fly, and then the other half of our police department. When it comes down to it, if we're running a police operations, we're not gonna have to, with our manpower, we don't have time to, or the ability to run one, so we can utilize Jack and some of the public work guys to fly while we're doing our thing. The only other thing to think about on the drone to make this complete, that wouldn't be this year, but the program that they used, obviously you guys all got to log on the phone and see the program where it showed you the operation on the phone. That would be something that we'd want to look into maybe next budget year or the year after. And that's, that license, I believe, is $5,000. That kind of makes the pieces come together.
So we talked about remote usage of it, obviously, we understand where you're coming from. How does it work for Justin, how's it work for Brian when they need it?
For Justin, he can look at all his waterways and stuff that he doesn't have to go walk out and inspect those. For Brian, I really don't know how he would utilize it at this point, but.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
When we're chasing the graffiti artists away from the restrooms, we'll get the drawing.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, part of the license, you can't, there's special things that fly over people, so you really can't use it for pictures above crowds and stuff. That's kind of against the rules, but Justin, I'm sure, can utilize it quite a bit. But Brian's would be minimal.
Spot check places where they're really some.
Well, if he wanted to get pictures of these ball fields or stuff like that, then obviously we could do that, or an event, you know, he could do pictures of as long as there's not a crowd there. So our city building, we can get cool shots as we're building it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it has some fun things that go with it, but like I said, the real insurance policy is when we actually need it.
Thank you, Chief.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Any more discussion for the council or for the motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of a drone from UDT for the cost of $17,612.97.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. This is also a roll call. Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes,
Right, thank you.
I do have one more question though.
Yes.
What are the guarantees with it as far as servicing, is it a year? You know,
The service, what do you mean by service? I mean,
what guarantee
Let's see your here.
to warranty, this is what we
yeah,
I would think there can be maybe parts or something that somebody's flying, how do you guarantee it? They put it into their.
so that's insurance. So these do sensors all the way around. So when you get close to something, it's gonna stop it. You're gonna have to fly it into something. Or something's gonna have to, the sensors are gonna work. You can have, I want to say, they said it. I think the minimum is like a 5-foot bubble around the drone. But it'll, from the bottom sides, top, and the end.
Yeah, I'm just curious because we never talked last time when we did the demonstrations this year for this. And just, we give us a great discount. And I'm the training is to be somewhere. And it's fine as far as the mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, we've actually got a good resource on, Kyle works with the, UVT crew, so they will actually pay him to come and train us.
Okay.
It's right at the bottom of that, it has a basic limit. That this, I don't think it's doing. It's really, yeah.
I wouldn't know if that's what it is.
On there, the first page says 1 year plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Item number 5, Mayor Consolidated. First, Director, you have anything to?
Yeah, so there's a valid reason that I think the graffiti artists on it. The park restrooms opened up in April, and in early May, the Bowery restrooms were hit pretty hard, the women's restroom. I'll save you the details and the pictures, the mayor's seen them, I think Jenny's seen them, but pretty graphic. One of the worst spray paint vandalisms I've seen in my time here. We contracted with ServPro to come and clean it at $2,500 to $3,000. They actually came out today, got their first start on it. We've had them closed since then, and have had porta potties available too at the main park. One at Independence, they run $95 per unit per month. My recommendation right now at this point would be to leave those closed, except for community events and rentals where we know who the person is that has keys or access to it. And at least until we have a serious look into cameras in the parks.
But I read a similar act. Cap.
I mean, yeah,
Have you got a sign reason being closed?
a sign?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, on both doors, yeah. Yeah, I know that Pleasant View, I think, has shut down some of their parks, restrooms indefinitely. And unfortunately, so. You know, we just keep doing what we do, but it's just costing a lot of time and a lot of money. They weren't open but a month and they got hit. So.
So next step is get some bids for cameras.
Yeah, we've talked about it briefly in staff meetings and stuff. It's been tossed around for a number of years, cameras, and I think it's time to seriously look into it and pull the trigger on it. I mean, we're spending enough money cleaning and man hours and ServPro on a yearly basis. Just put some money into cameras, see if that
So
curves the product.
we visited today, actually has their park cameras and some of the stuff they're getting hit into. They have a TV in their control room, so when guys are in there, they can actually monitor the park bathrooms or stuff. It was kind of cool.
So it's up to you. It's just my recommendation to leave them closed until we figure out a camera situation.
I have to give him your direction for that. This is not a vote. He needs to.
Close, keep it closed.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just again, next Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, groundbreaking ceremony. Other than that, we have an open position. We are interviewing for in public works as an assistant director position that will be filled come July 1 budget year, hopefully. So yeah, just moving forward, working hard, getting things accomplished.
I don't have too much from the week prior, but we still have an open position, which we have not received any applications that are even viable. We've started some extra patrols on North Harrisville Road for speeding, and I think Jeffrey's going to put up the paddle boxes so we can do a study to see just how fast people are actually going on that road and how much traffic is going down. Justin's also volunteered his guys to go bring some equipment down and clean up the mattresses and the homeless camps down around Walmart. Yeah. So I think we talked earlier today about maybe coming up with an ordinance on those type of items around businesses that gives them a time frame when they have to clean them up and remove the graffiti from their business. So it's becoming a problem down there. I think that if we don't hit it head on, we're just gonna, if they feel comfortable, it's gonna be a bigger and bigger problem. So that's on our radar. That's kind of our priority, is the homeless camps down there in North Harrisville Road right now.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Is there a possibility to contact the highway patrol and see if they're willing to come out on 2000? There were 2 trucks that went through today, fully loaded, dump trucks, belly dump, 2 trailers.
and they were one flying. But then there was rocks and everything just bouncing out and, you know, I would love to see maybe a snap inspection, you know, a couple inspections that
We
would.
got something they got going on, they're gonna be running, they're continuously, you know.
I haven't,
They just, I think what they're doing is just cut through.
Sure.
And, you know, okay, that's fine, cover your, drag the speed, limit, that's what I'm saying. Well, you know, when they see the highway patrol flip the lights on and they get pulled over and search, but gone through an inspection, sometimes that gets around.
Yeah, there's a truck inspector that sits on the highway, quite a bit, so I'll get a hold of them, see if they'll,
Just ask them if they could ever.
I'm sure they'll be happy to.
They just can't, I was walking down and they just, I mean, they were.
Is there any way we limit the weight going across there like we do on 7? Or that's something to look at?
we can look at it, but
On
we
construction.
don't necessarily have an enforcement agent that can enforce that. Because they have to be DOT certified, do DOT inspections and like that. Scale.
Well, you could just shut the truck or look down from trucks all together. Right?
Until we need a person.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying, that, you know, in parts of the city, like in Riverdale and stuff like that, there are streets that's it. This is the weight and nothing
Right,
else.
and it all depends on classification.
Anyway, just maybe, you know, that might help.
It was a trial 1350 at one point.
We did, I just remember, we took a Brody on that. Cause I do believe that we issued it. Sold it 17. Connection Washington. Great. Let me. Check.
Yeah, it was just something that saw the man, I think would be. I always say to get inspected, so.
Oh, I'm sure they'll come.
But I have to say, I've seen more. When they see a truck full, they're not covered. They're getting full, so, like I said a couple times, maybe.
If that's got something to do with the Washington project.
It's an expensive pig.
It is. So, yeah, I just,
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, truck inspector that sits out there quite a bit, so I'm sure they'll be happy to go sit there and.
you can take it, maybe, too. Okay.
So I just wanted to revisit, your request at the end of this fiscal year. As you saw the big financials that we discussed this last week with all of the cost savings that you established for like next year, we are coming to a healthy budget here, so to revisit the issuing a second list to the employees. I think it was total that. It was in May. Excuse me, a refresher on the to issue those bonuses to the employees by this fiscal year.
Wasn't it just the
So we're looking at the higher side of that for the employees, because the budget can just deserve to be employees working so diligently finding new issues that have been addressed for a long time. Saving the city.
What, did you discuss on your side this week?
Not in, but I have for you for the total amount for the highest amount was 70,633 out of the general fund, 2883 out of the sewer fund, and 5766 out of the storm fund. Sure. Now, I've always done bonuses just on this year, last year, this year, try to get some help from you to make sure that everything's transparent, not doing anything that people, I will have your support. So I'd like to know what you would want me to do. Raising
these places.
I think personally, the way that they brought in the end of the year, how we're doing, what they're doing in their departments and everybody, the people we have working. For them.
It's that, but
So, what do you feel?
Yes. No.
Thank you. The only other follow-up I want to give you is our truth and taxation information. Jessica did receive our numbers and the certain tax rate was going to decrease to 14.90, so a slight decrease. So to recapture our, it is a 0.69% increase, approximately $2 for us to maintain receiving after share. So I just wanted to, that's what our truth and taxation hearing would be August 1st, and we'll tentatively plan the second meeting for August 8th, since that's when the majority of the council to hold the second meeting.
You're talking $2.
$2.
I haven't seen us put up with the cookie sales signs or anything for the city, so I guess. Do what we have to keep us where we're at.
Thank you. Grover?
No, just fine.
no.
All right. With that, I am going on to number 6, which is a closed executive session. Do you need a
Should we move to a closed executive session?
Second.
you can read it.
So, purpose of describe under strategy sessions, pending reasonable litigation.
Second.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm going to excuse the rest of you. That we're not. All right, so we have another closed executive session. And if there's no further business, I would need a motion to adjourn. We are all. Max and Steve, you want a second?
Second.
All in favor? It is adjourned. Thank you.